Hello everyone, this is Solomon. I am here to explain you about exception handling. So exception handling is nothing but the exceptional errors what we find in the codes. Uh, to do this code, we use normally try catch blocks. So normally types of exceptions are checked except exception, unchecked exception, and error. So I hope you can understand through this only, and I'm gonna show you a clear picture what is exception handling in Java especially. So programmer, so he programs a code, so it will be stored here. It's an exception, but coming directly from here from CPU to the server, that is using backup server, that is called uh, or exception handling. So exception handling code will be called backup server when main server is down. So when the server is down, then it calls a backup function that is called exception handling. So I hope you understand what is exception handling. So now we'll go into codes. I'm going to explain you few codes today. So first I'm going to show you how to use exception handling. Uh, Use for an squaring of a number. So I'll give a number. So I took a range from 0 to 50. Okay, so from 0 to 50, if I'm gonna enter any number, so it's gonna give me squares. So okay, it's gonna give me square. If I'm gonna give more than 50, if a number is 51 or 55, then it's gonna show an error. So this is our program. So let's see how our code runs. So package math import java.util.scanner. So I'm using scanner class here. So I have a class here. I have a public class square. So from here our code starts public static void main. You know how this works. So scanner class, and I'm taking an input here into a. So try catch block is nothing but I'll execute a code here. So if this try function has any error in the code, then it will come to catch and it will execute here. Catch will execute. So I took a range from 0 to 50, 0 and 50, uh, up to 50. So throw new out of range exception valid range 0 to 50. So this will throw an exception if this case is not working, or if this case is working, I mean if the number is in the range of 0 to 50, then it's gonna square and it's gonna print the square number. So out of range exception we are using string yes. So we are using superclass yes. So let's run the code and see how this is gonna run really. mm, yeah, our code started. So let me enter a number 15. So 15 square 225, and now I will enter a number which is out of range, out of our exception. So it is like 70. 70 is not in the 50 200. So math dot out of range valid range is from 0 to 50. So 0 to 50 only the range works, and above that it will show an error. Valid range is 0 to 50. So this is the program how we can use exception handling one of further, and in the further course you can understand much better what is exception handling. So here I took a code that very simple code. If I enter a positive value, positive amount, then it's going to deposit into my account, and if I'm going to give any negative amount like minus 300, minus 1000, minus up to anything in negative, then it's going to print an exception. So that exception is invalid amount. So I'm taking package maths, importing our scanner class negative exception. So extended from exceptions. So string message. So negative exception string message. This dot message equal to message. So this is the main thing what we need for printing a negative exception. So public string two strings, so return message. So this will return the message what we need. So public class exception handling. So as I took my file name exception handling, I took my class name. Our class name will be exception handling in Java. So public static void. So scanner class, this will take the integer values or anything what we need. So I'm taking an integer value here because I'm going to enter amount. So this scanner class will store the values in A. Then it's going to come for try catch blocks. So first I'm going to enter into try. So in try, I'm going to if statement. If A is less than 0, throw new negative exception invalid amount. Or if my amount is greater than 0, then it's gonna print amount is deposited. So we can keep any cases here, like if amount is 50, greater than 50, minimum balance you can keep here, or anything whatever we want. So if any exception in this code, if any error in this code, then it's going to come to catch directly. So negative exception E is going to print directly. So system.out.println E. So let's run this code. Let's check exception handling main. So enter amount. So yeah, okay, I'll enter here. So I'm going to enter 5,000. Sorry, 50,000 I have entered. So amount is deposited. So if I enter around some minus amount, let's rerun our code. So if I enter minus 500 or 5,000, so invalid amount. So this is an exception. If my amount is negative, it's an exception. So we are using negative exception. So that is the main case of exception handling using try catch block. So this is a code. If I'm gonna enter all my details, it's directly gonna calculate itself, as I have declared everything in the code itself, like for depositing 50,000, for withdrawing 10,000, withdrawing 20,000, and withdrawing 60,000. What's the case in this program is, in the try catch statement, first I have deposited 50,000 into my account. Okay, then I'm gonna withdraw this 10,000 for $10. All this is in dollars. So $10,000 from $50,000. So what will happen? So this 50,000 will be deducted into 40,000 because I'm withdrawing 10,000. Next I'm gonna withdraw 20,000. So all is 30,000. So in my account now 20,000 is remaining. Now I'm trying to withdraw 60,000, which is not possible from my account. So what it need to give me? It's an error, exceptional error. So it's an exceptional that my amount is not sufficient. So how much money is not sufficient, it's gonna print. So insufficient fund exception. So how much money I need still to deposit that much money. So that's our main code. So you can see all the code is nearly similar. So it's a basic code, public static void main, everything. So I'm taking a number and an integer, and I'm gonna take this balance in double. So withdrawing amount. So if amount is greater than amount is less than or equal to balance minus amount. So this is gonna give me the balance amount. Else double need is equals to amount minus balance. So how much money is insufficient, that need to be printed, right? That's why we are using else part. So public double get balance, return balance. This will return the balance, and this will give the number. So the same way code starts from here. I have explained the down part. So we are checking here. So public insufficient fund exception. So this is our exception. Insufficient fund exception is my exception main keyword. So let's run our code. Yeah, you can see directly everything. It's done is calculation. So deposited amount is 50,000 first. Next withdrawn amount is 10,000. Next withdrawn amount is 20,000. Now again I'm gonna withdraw 60,000 from my account, which is not possible, right? 50,000 minus 30,000 is equals to 20,000. So 20,000 I have, and still 40,000 if I contain in my balance, then I can withdraw 60,000. So sorry, but you have short of $40,000. That's our code. So this is one more exception handling. Now we'll see for voter ID, voting a person is eligible to vote or not using exception. If a person age is above 18, he is eligible to vote. If his age is below 18, it's an exception. So his age is not sufficient to vote. So let's check. So we are taking a package math. So we are taking a scanner class, importing scanner class. So my class is my exception, extended from exception. So my exception string s. So superclass is gonna call from superclass. So my public class name is voting. So as I took my file name voting, my class name is also voting. So public static void. So after this, my exception, we are taking a scanner class, we are taking an integer value. So enter your age. This is a printing statement. So he will enter his age. So that value, that integer will be stored in age, and it will check here. So try if age is less than 18, then throw new my exception not valid. So this will throw an exception that's called not valid. If age is above 18 or above 18, we can have an equal to also, greater than or equal to, greater than or equal. Okay, so else part system.out.println welcome to vote phase. So we can keep any printing statement, you are eligible to vote or whatever. Okay, we'll keep you are eligible to vote. Okay, um, our valid will keep, as we took note, not valid, valid to vote. So whatever you want, you can keep here, as you can use anything to keep in print statement. So we'll keep something, your valid to vote. So welcome to voting phase, or welcome to voting. So yeah, in this way you can directly print everything. And the catch block, if there is any error in this, it's gonna come here, and my exception m system.out.println exception occur plus m. So m will be printed here. So system.out.println reset the code. So this is not that important line. It's in. So let's check how this is gonna run. Firstly, so voting. So enter your age. So I will enter my age as 18. So exception occurred. My exception not valid. Actually, where's my error? Age is greater than or equals to. Let's check now. Yeah, this is not here, I hope. Greater than or equal to 18. Now let me run my code and check. So I'll enter age 20. You're valid to vote. Welcome for voting. So if I'm gonna enter below age, low age, then like 15 years, so exception occur, my exception not valid. So you're not valid to vote. So in this way we can use exception handling in voting also. So now this is all exceptions I have taken in one program. So all the exceptions you can see here, taking the integer or index exception, null pointer exception, number for number format exception, and arithmetic expression, and everything you can see here. So package I have taken, public class is exception. So public static void main, from here we start. So try int a 50 divided by 0, because 50 divided by 0 is infinite, right? So arithmetic expression, so this will catch as an arithmetic expression because we have an error in our try try block. So it will come to catch block, it will directly print arithmetic expression, that is nothing but arithmetic exception has occurred. So next we're going to for try. B is equals to, we are taking an int 5, but print b is equals to 10. This is not possible. So we are taking index exception. So here it will print index exception. Okay, and now here null pointer exception we are taking here. So when this code is executed, this will print, sure this will become an error because null has no storage. So s dot length is like 0. So catch block will directly print null pointer exception has occurred. So next we're going for try string s equals to abc int. We are taking a string here and passing an integer here. So this is not possible. So number format exception. So let's run. We'll get all the exceptions directly in our program. You can see here arithmetic exception and index exception, null pointer exception. And if I'm gonna change my code, what's gonna happen here? So I'm gonna change here like 50, right? Okay, we'll go with 5. Okay, 5. So try catch exception. So sorry, 5 here, and sort a, I hope. Okay. Okay, let's see how this code runs. Hopefully no errors. So you can see here, right? If this code is going to be correct, so now I'm multiplying 50 divided by 5. So this is divisible, this is possible, right? 50 divided by 5 is nothing but 10. So 10 will be printed here, and the exception handling, this case will not be occurred, because when this become true, only this statement will be this case will be completed, and it will come to the next try catch blocks directly. If this is true, then this catch block will not execute. So here it is true, 50 divided by 5, this is possible. But whereas 50 divided by 0, this is not at all possible, because 50 divided by 0, it's an infinity. So we cannot accept any integer or any value. So directly arithmetic exception has occurred. I hope you understand. And next, details. This is a very simple code as we do our coding. So now I'm going to enter all my details like employee name, employee ID, and age. Then it's going to print all my details back. That's it. It's a very simple code. So you know all this, how what to build. So class name is employee, int. So we are taking employee ID, string is name, and int age. Okay, so class age exception extended from exception. So public age exception, we are taking 3 exceptions here: age exception, and invalid ID exception, and invalid name exception. So normally we hope, if I'm gonna give integer here, this is not gonna work. So this is called exceptions. So that's our code to be printed. So public class details. So as I took my class name, file name details, so our public class name also details. So public static void main string argument. So we are taking scanner class, we are taking all the inputs from the user. So string name will be stored here, and employee ID, we are using scanner class here to take employee ID, and age also we are using scanner class here to take all the details of a user. So we are going to try and try catch 2 times try. We are gonna, and if age is greater than 50, throw an exception, age should be less than 50. So system.out.println age of an employee plus age. So if this age is more than 50, this is gonna throw an error, age exception. So age should be less than 50. So if this becomes false, then it's gonna come here. So if this become true, this is going to execute. If this become false, then it's going to come to else part, if else part. Then for this try, we are having catch here. So age exception e system.out.println invalid age. So next we are going to for try for name. So all the things should be in name. That's nothing but we need to have characters, not an integer value. So for this we use here. So and for employee id, it cannot be alphabets or characters, so it should be integers. So uh, yeah, you can see here. So if a char is less than 4, throw an exception, char should be greater than 4 plus id. So catch an exception. So if all things are completed, exception z system.out.println, it will give a thank you message finally. So let's run the code of the details and check. Employee name Solomon, employee ID 1236, my number, employee age is I'll give it 18, right? So age of the employee is 18, name of the employee is Solomon, age employee ID is 1236. Now I will enter the age greater than 50. What's gonna happen? So employee name Solomon, employee ID 12345. I'll go with something like 5678. Okay, and employee age is 55. What's gonna happen? So it's going to print age should be less than 50, invalid age, math and age exception, and employee name is Solomon, ID is 1234567. So you can see here, if my age is greater than 50, it's going to throw an exception called age exception. So this is the way how we use exception handling. So I hope you understood. I have told about 6 examples in exception handling. Hope you all understood what is exception handling. That's all in this video. Thank you everyone.